Green.
Hello? Is that me?
Did you want to get that before we start?
Good.
Professional.
Well,
This is why we stopped.
it's on silent. I don't know. Oh, it's because it comes through on that. Hello, I'm TK Cooper, and this is Jordan Breaks.
Yeah. You've got the bad habit of looking at the screen when the camera's over there. But hello, we are back with our awesome podcast that we do very regularly called Colossal Effort, a podcast behind the scenes here at Pro Wrestling Colossus. I am the aforementioned TK Cooper here with Jordan Breaks, co-founders, co-bookers, promoters, video makers of Pro Wrestling Colossus, with Adam and Emily, who are a wonderful make out the quad of management here at Pro Wrestling Colossus. But first of all, apologies that we did two of these, and then I suppose, to be fair, we got into like the Christmas period, so things fell away.
Things very much fell away.
They just never fell back up or fell back together.
I'm certain the last one we did was November.
That is upsetting.
Yeah, for our show, Invasion of the Body Slammers coming up.
Which is now,
Hell yeah, it's the next one.
We haven't done one of these in so long that so much time has passed that we're back to the show we last did one of these for. But just so you know, internet, we did try and record one of these in June. I checked earlier.
It was June.
Yeah, that we tried to do like a little catch up so that we could be ready for the Rumble show, which we also didn't do one for. And now we're back after our 1 year anniversary, Coastal Clash 2, to kind of do a big fat catch up on all of the shows you missed, all of the little random anecdotes or stories we can probably like peel the curtain back and tell you a little bit about. But a couple of cool things before we jump into all that now is, if you don't already, please subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Colossus newsletter, because that's Adam's outlet. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that's where Emily houses the Pro Wrestling Colossus vlog, and that's her outlet. And now Jordan and I have our opportunity to do our thing here on the podcast. So you have all the different little avenues for the four of us to kind of give you our perspective on XYZ. And if you could please follow us on all the channels, that would be awesome. That's where we're at the top. But again, this is a kind of warts and all podcast, so there's no real seamless transition into do we just go,
let's talk about the shows.
So we're gonna backpedal to December 28th. Is that the golden day?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay, so this was just after Christmas, right in that like empty zone of families are sick of each other by this point and want something to do, so obviously we present them with pro wrestling. Nice, great one, great job, us. What did we do? Show was called Pile Driving Home for Christmas, another banger name off the back of Invasion of the Bodies. But are we just doing main takeaways of these shows? Is that the easiest way to sort of like
main takeaways? Yeah, I think so. Main takeaway for me was that it was busy. That was the first show, right, where we actually had a bit of, I think we might be selling too many tickets. Yeah, how do we fit everyone into this room? That we were running around like, luckily we were main event? Yes. We were main event because we had a banger. Luckily we were main event because we had to run around like madmen at the beginning, just trying to figure out how to get everyone through the door, how to get everyone seated, how to fit people in that room, which now I think we've nailed.
It's taken its time, and we've also kind of like, as the shows have progressed, each show up until now has sold out progressively, but it's like sold out a little bit more than the last time, because every time we do a show, we're always looking at the room like, we could fit a couple more people in here.
Yeah.
So, and also the lovely people at St. John's Community Center were very honest in the fact that they don't know the capacity number.
We said, how many people can you fit in this room? And they said, I don't know, how many people can you fit in the room?
So we just keep trialing and erroring. It's definitely been it definitely feels like the turning point of when, it's hard to say turning point when we're only 3 shows in, but like compared to the first 2 shows where we were just kind of like just happy to be there, I guess. Like the first show obviously was like, we just want to create a show because we think it would be nice, good way to get the trainees some better experience. Okay, that's actually gone really well, let's do another one. And then that one kind of like similar or maybe worse, like just by a little bit sold, I think.
Yeah, what the
Halloween.
No, the Halloween was, I thought it was better.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah, because August doesn't work for us, which we've learned. Halloween was good. Yeah, I think more people came in and were like, okay, that's right. We can carry on doing this. This is fine. And then by the time we were at Pile Driving Home for Christmas, there was a buzz. There was like an energy in the room. There was a thing happening.
Yeah, because I remember the main problems leading into the Power Driving Home for Christmas was that I went to America with Mambo for like 6 weeks,
Yes.
like in like late November, early December time. So I was away to help like promotional stuff for a long point of time. And if you don't know, I'm also a budding professional wrestler, still trying to make it in this game despite everything. I'm my best. Anyway, not onboarded. So I think that was one of the main like problems we were facing. It was that like I just wasn't around to do stuff. And then we had managed to film that we'd basically done our trilogy by that point of like 3 videos where it was like first time you and me had the fight in the water, and that's what kind of like got us on the map. Then we did the Halloween. Yeah, we did do that one. Sorry, I mean like the Halloween one where I came out the water and you tackled me as a pirate in the nurse outfit. And then the last one was where it was obviously way too cold and I was not going to get in the water. And then you just pounced me in the inflatable Santa outfit.
Good pounce too.
So, yeah, that was funny. Stuff, this is just like stuff like that. But we did have like promotional stuff in the can to be like, we've got a show on. Come to the show.
Yeah.
But I wasn't around as much to do like postering or flyering like we had kind of done the first 2 times.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, something worked, and I wonder if it was that, call it the John Fremantle sweet spot. Yeah, he always runs that show. I think it's either the 27th or 28th of December, but it just always gets people in, and
makes sense.
It makes sense. Everyone's home. Everyone's now bored of hanging around with each other. Everyone needs something to do.
Because I wouldn't even say our card was particularly special. I mean, obviously, all of our cards are special in different ways, but like, there was nothing really on that card that would have made me, as a wrestling fan, think like, I gotta go to that show. Gotta see that play out.
You say that. You are absolutely right, but that main event
was cool.
The main event
8-person elimination tag, Survivor Series style. Like, it's hard when you think like, I think that's cool because like relative to I think it's cool because I have come up with that idea and have put it into practice. So like, I wouldn't suggest a thing I don't think is cool to be on the show I'm a part of. But it's hard to know if wrestling fans or if Margate people who aren't wrestling fans but like coming to our shows find that attractive in any way, or they're just like, there's 8 people in that picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 wicked people.
But even that, like, do they? I feel like they don't. Maybe by the time, like by August now, where we're at, there is probably the amount of regular fans that we have coming to the shows all the time that like have developed. Like, I remember you. I remember you. I like you. I dislike you. So there's like a bit of like a familiarity now. But like by that point, we're only 3 shows in, and like we had like Amira debut in that match. We had Nino debut in that match. There's no real like lore or backstory for them to kind of like have any concept of like whether you do or don't like these people. Sort of stuff, as opposed to, and again, there's only 3 shows in, so people wouldn't really have any kind of notion of even like yourself or me yet, because we haven't really developed anything by that point. But even saying that, the main event was crazy.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Was that the one where everyone got involved as well? Yeah. Like, what a way to send people home happy. I was very happy. Yeah, real fun.
I think that's just like the trick though, isn't it? With like, especially like a Christmassy sort of panto level show where people just want to be involved and do like a whole wrestling's equivalent of he's behind you. Oh, no, he isn't, or whatever. Just all of that, like those sort of interactions, and that was like generally the feedback. First time we'd ever really got like fan feedback in the DMs, being like, we've been to loads of shows. This was the most incredible atmosphere I've ever been a part of. Like, very like humbling and very like cool to get that sort of like direct feedback from fans that like care enough to tell you I had a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How many people came to the show? Like 100 plus, 120, 30, whatever it was, and that there were enough. That many people can just come to the show and then they just go home because it's fine. Like they came to the show, they enjoyed it. That's enough.
Yeah.
Like, there's no incentive for them to message the page and be like, just letting you know that was awesome.
Yeah, that's worth carrying on for. Just that sort of passion for it,
because they're smart though as well, the fans. Like, again, I don't know if those fans that created it still come to the show or whether it was just like a Christmas thing, but like Power Driving Home for Christmas was the place where Feed 'Em to the Gulls was born.
Yeah, it was the fans that they literally, I think, was it a poster, and then everybody in the room was chanting it to the point where we couldn't ignore it, right?
And like conceptually, it doesn't even like what does that even mean? Feed 'Em to the Gulls, because it's not a phrase people say.
No, but from that, like, it's very much the.
Dave's really pissing me off at work. Feed 'em to the. Like, nobody says that. Like, it's not a thing people say.
It's very much the buy Margate for Margate thing. They came up with this thing, and we were like, I'm stealing that.
Yeah, you got to run with it.
Yeah, because that's cool. And do you think the feeding to the goals is stuck?
I'm not sure. I feel like we are trying our best to like keep it alive,
make it our thing.
Yeah, but I don't know if people are that fussed on it, or whether like they feel too silly. Like it was a real like happened in a vacuum, and we should have just left it.
A little, yeah. I think every time I hear it, the most I hear it is against David, and there's that conflicting chant of zero aura. So it's really difficult to stick to one. Yeah, we need to pin it on someone. Whereas David has zero aura, we need to really make someone the goal.
Yeah, and not Adam.
Not Adam. Yeah, he's already the goal. He's the one being fed.
Yeah, he is the one being. Yeah, that's so true. But then I suppose that naturally takes us straight into March, which was like a bit of a delay. We were kind of like had eyes for February, but factors beyond our control meant it would be better for us to run a March event rather than a February event.
Which absolutely works out in our favor, right?
It's just when you get like the itchy feet after like, because we'd had such a good show, and the first time we'd really like all like the four of us been like, that was awesome. Yeah, that was so good. How do we like replicate that? Obviously Adam wasn't there, unfortunately, but like even he was like seeing all the video clips and like sending them to the group chat. What the hell? This is so sick. So it was just like the waiting game after like, how do we capitalize off of how good the show was? We can't wait till March. It's so far away. But then like
March the 1st, then as close to the front of March as we could.
So I can't really remember. Like that's kind of the main things I remember about Feeding to the Gulls. Anyway, was that I wanted wrestling sooner because of how good the December show was. But maybe there's like what's that phrase? I can't remember what I'm trying to say. Just like waiting. Something about waiting. I don't know. If you're watching this and you know what the hell proverb I'm talking about, help me out.
I certainly don't.
Something about the something makes the heart grow fonder.
Absence, isn't it?
Absence. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So like, the period of time that we didn't put on the show meant that when we did bring the show back around, everyone was like, oh yes, let's go again.
Yeah, so we just wanted it more and more, the less we had it. Yeah, fine. Yeah, leading up to Feeding to the Goals, I think everything was pretty much the same. We did a little bit of content, we did our poster in. Did we sell well for Feeding to the Goals? We sold out.
That was the first, that was the beginning of selling out the show before the show. Power Driving Home for Christmas, I meant like you could argue sold out on the day because we just like ran out of space.
Yeah.
But then Feed 'em to the Goals was the one that actually pre-sold out because we set the target of, I can't remember what the number was, but we were like, okay, for safety reasons, we need to just put it to this.
Yes.
Because this is how many people came in at Christmas, but we'll bump it up a little bit. And then it just was like bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if I remember rightly, leading up to it, we were concerned that we didn't have, because we'd made such an effort for the first three to put out cool content, cool videos. We didn't really have much leading up to this one, and I think that was a concern of ours. But then the show just started selling. It was the least amount of effort we'd put in, and the show just sold out, which is it just makes no sense. And that kind of sums up wrestling in Margate for me. It makes no sense. There's no logic. Like there's no consistency. It's always, even like talking about the shop, what sells and what doesn't, and what we need to buy and what we don't. Like just is never the same show to show.
So
and this is just another thing that just makes me go, what the hell is wrestling? Or what the hell is Margate?
Yeah, as much as we try and like mold it, structure it, create it to be X, it just is not like at all ever.
No, absolutely
consistently the thing it was last time is not the thing it is the next time. Annoyingly, they arguably all of the wrestling that they see, they love the bits they're told to love and they hate the bits they're told to hate. So we've got at least got that bit right. But yeah, like
we know how to do that. That's our thing.
We're actually good at that.
Yeah, it's the other part we're just trying to figure out. We did do the noughts and crosses bit of content.
Yeah, that's right.
It was super fun, which is I'm sure on our Instagram pages of Taz and I giving noughts and crosses in the wrestling arena a go. My standout for that was you being dropped on your ass.
Thank you, Big Ben McDonald and SJ Randall. It didn't make the cut, thank goodness, but that clip does exist with the horrible thud. For real though, I wasn't actually trying to be like, don't worry boys, I'm on. It actually like didn't hurt that much. But I think that might have been the shock. I think it might have just been the shock.
So Taz just jumped over me, over the ropes, and just straight onto the floor. And then just got up and went, I'm fine.
They were there to catch. Like they definitely did like slow my momentum so I didn't just die on the concrete below. But they were like a touch too far away and reacted too slowly that I did just go like and like splat on the ground.
FUD, man.
And then had to get up and do it again because it was like, well, we can't use that one.
Yeah, the trust, man. The trust was out the window. Yeah, I've watched that clip a lot, just for me though.
Just your own personal.
Yeah. Right, that takes us to the show. We had our first main event, or we booked our first main event that didn't include either you nor I.
The Scramble, of course. Yeah, the introduction of Alexander Roth. Kind of our, like, unofficially, our first, like, consciously programmed story.
Yes.
As opposed to the way things had been laid out the first three shows. It was kind of just like exhibition show, with like loosely justified reasoning for why like each thing had led to the next thing. But
now we've got more than just the next day in mind. We were able to come up with where's this going to take this and where's that going to take that.
Yeah.
It ended up with Alexander Roth blindsiding me,
which I thought was another interesting like trope of like a lot of the stuff we create at Pro Wrestling Colossus. And again, I'm not really like fishing for compliments or anything, but like a lot of the stuff we do at Lossy isn't really like that deep or like that clever, or it's just so base level of like wrestler A wrestles wrestler B, wrestler A wins, wrestler B's upset.
Yes.
And then that just plugs into the next layer of what's going on, as opposed to like we don't have like elaborate storylines. But again, because we're not serialized enough, we don't run often enough or travel around enough to justify really doing like storylines.
I don't know if people can.
No, I don't think so. I feel like we've definitely cultivated that now, where people just come for like a fun afternoon.
Really fun.
And the threads are there for the fans to like want the extra.
It's never the focus.
Yeah, it's definitely not it's not thing we try to build the show off of. The reason I'm saying that is so Alexander Roth is introduced as a good guy. Wins the Scramble as a good guy. Cuts his promo afterwards being like, thank you so much, Margate. Used to come here as a little kid. Love it. Woohoo, Margate, number one. Can I challenge the Margate top boy, please? Out you come, like, hey, mate. And then you guys are like, yeah, nice. Two nice guys. Gonna have a match in the next show. Awesome. And then Roth is just like,
bam,
and just sucker punches you. And then just immediately, like, the switch from the crowd where, like, again, we're just doing things that for wrestling fans are so expected, like tropes and things that play out. It's not unique or clever in any way, but because we have like a fan base that have no real concept of like,
so many people in that room had never seen wrestling before.
Yeah, so they don't. So when Alexander Roth, who they've just like understood up until that moment, just some nice guy, like used to come down to Margate as a kid, had some good like summer memories, whatever, and then he just like punched the other nice guy from Margate in the face, and just the switch from the room, like,
yeah,
I feel like they do understand how to play the game of boo the baddies, cheer the goodies, but like, I feel like that really like shocked people. Yeah, it was really fun. Which is how wrestling should be, how you always want wrestling to be interpreted by wrestling fans and non-wrestling fans. But I think a lot of the reason the our stuff comes off as good as it does for us isn't just because of like how well we've constructed it or like the caliber of the people we use, but it is because like fans that come to our shows are not familiar with the tropes of wrestling. So to see a heel turn was a shock, was an real shock for them.
We had a banger on the match. On the card, sorry, in Mills and SJ.
A match of the year contender, if you will.
I think it's probably mine. I loved it. I loved SJ Randall getting kicked in the face so much.
From that, like where Mills like picks him up in like the handstand and then just, like,
again, I've watched that on repeat so many times. I think I've shown him a few times.
Horrible.
It was really bad. He cut his mouth open. So
it's like in a cartoon when someone gets like driven over.
Tom and Jerry,
like, a tire mark.
It was the iron on the face, wasn't it? Yeah, where Tom runs into the iron.
So bad. Yeah, that was definitely like. I feel like those sorts of matches. I mean, again, I might just be talking like trash here for no reason. Like, I don't know of a match that good that's happened out in these ways. You would know better. You've obviously been wrestling out these ways more often, I'm sure. Like,
no, yeah. I've had many matches out this way, so I'm just burying myself here.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think that's one of the best. I think there was heat, there was a story. I think Mills and SJ had been gearing up for a match since the beginning. Oh, they were meant to wrestle on the first show, and that never happened. It never happened. So there was just there was a lot of heat going into it that, again, the room was electric for. Speaking of the room being electric for something, this is not a good segue. Birdman.
It's not a good segue, but it's a great topic.
Yeah, man. That Birdman had that room in the palm of his hands.
One and done. Magician that is Christopher Law. The Dark Rook.
Yeah. We had before our Colossus shows, every so often we'll do an in-house show, just an opportunity for the trainees to get another rep in, get some feedback from us, know what to work on, and just give them a bit of confidence, right, for the show.
Yeah.
And we did that for Birdman. Was he Birdman?
I mean, aesthetically, he was. He came out with the feathers, had the contacts in.
But he was just a good guy.
He was just local man.
Local in one. And that was kind of perfect opportunity to put ourselves over. A perfect opportunity for us to guide him and mold him into just well, actually it wasn't us, it was him. He came out and he was the Birdman, right? There was no
he doesn't call himself the Birdman. That is what we have called him. And then I guess because we weren't in the room to start the chant, but the crowd did start going Birdman. So I guess it's just if you see a man dressed as a bird, you're gonna say Bird. But yeah, wow, he is an enigma, an anomaly, just unreal how much he kind of got it.
Incredible debut.
Yeah, obviously the match wasn't perfect, loads to work on, but just as much was I can't believe how good that was.
Yeah, it was wild. One and done, like you say.
Yeah, so
never
sad.
To be seen again.
Fingers crossed, Birdman, if you're watching this, please, we love you. Please come back to training. We'd love to have you on a future show.
Birdman will strike again. It was the first show that we had a bit of involvement with Don't Blink. And
so not that we moved
Arms.
away from stuff, but when we kind of moved the content strategy away from skits and more into real life collaborations with here's a local shop, here's a local brand, let's help promote them in the hopes that it will kick back to us in some way. Whether it does or whether it doesn't, we're still gonna it's still helpful to them, and it's just a nice thing to do. If we get free pizza off the back of it, that's the dream. If we don't, we still ate pizza in it.
Let's put Don't Blink over before we bury Palms.
Sure.
Don't Blink was is a shop in the Old Town Margate that just do vintage clothing. They just gave us boxes for the clothes, right? And we got all the guys.
Yeah, I feel bad that they gave us so many clothes and there just wasn't enough time or resources to get everybody cycled through all of the kit.
Yeah.
So the 5 or 6 people that did take the time to take a couple of promo pics in the bits that they did get their hands on, it was still surplus. There was so much more in that box that we could have got pictures with. I know that she was grateful. She thought the pictures were awesome and she was really happy with it. We haven't done it again since, but not for a lack of trying, mind you. So Don't Blink. I know you're not watching this or listening to this, but we would happily play dress up at the next show if it benefits you again to help show off a few more bits and pieces. And to be honest, if there's any other op shops, I don't know what else. What do you call this? All I keep thinking is the full name. Used clothes store, which it's not. Yeah. It's if anybody is out there that you want us to help collaborate, or especially now that our reach is so much bigger than it was even since March. We cruised over 1,000 followers on Instagram not that long ago. For I don't really understand Instagram analytics, but our thing is always 100K viewers in the last month. So surely that means something. 100,000 people have viewed our profile.
Yeah,
it's gotta factor in.
Is that reach? Is that
you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
But when you see a number that big, surely it means something. Obviously, if it said 1 million, that'd be even greater. But I don't know. Look on your own profile and compare what yours says, what information yours says versus 100,000 things.
Comment below.
Yeah, comment below your own Instagram engagement. Sorry, that was a bit of a diversion away from what you wanted to talk about. So
no, I think it's a fair one. We collabed with Palms Pizza.
We did.
We got some amazing photos.
We did.
Birdman got some amazing photos.
We did.
We didn't get any amazing pizza.
Well, not beyond the one pizza, but we paid for that pizza.
This is it. Yeah, just
they weren't interested in the sponsorship.
No,
would have loved it.
They don't know. Call when it takes photos with its pizza.
Pizza to Go-Go's problem now.
Hell yeah.
Fire Away Pizza's problem now, with any luck.
What's the other pizza that we got the other day? And then what's the other one? Fire Away.
Fire
Away, you just mentioned that. Cool.
25.1k views in the last 30 days on the Pro Wrestling Colossus professional dashboard on Instagram.
That's wild.
So if there's anybody out there who works in social media and you want to explain what that means, and if that's good or bad, please
let us know.
Message us or comment, and subscribe. I don't know.
How many of them is us?
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of takes us to the next show, I think.
I suppose so. Yeah, as unnaturally as that does. Yeah, I think it does.
Troubled Waters, banging main event.
Really good main event. Really overall. Again, I thought in a way that's like, I don't think any of our shows are particularly special, but they're all special for different reasons. I thought this show overall was our weakest one, but I think it again sold out, pre-sold out, and with an even higher pre-sale than last time. I think we were slow in reaching out or finding someone to produce the poster, which meant we had the poster later.
Yes.
And I think we were rushing poor Girls and Guts to spit one out.
Yeah.
And then there was a bit of just back and forth with us and her of like edits and stuff. So then that like dragged it out a bit longer. So like the promotional period we had,
essentially, we gave ourselves maybe a month, if that.
Where like normal, but I think this year anyway kickstarted. Like we ran every six weeks, like consistently. That's where we plotted from March the 1st. It was then like mid-May to the front of July to mid-August. So we pretty much set the tone of, we knew the gap between each show, as opposed to last year where it was like run August show, go back to the hall, ask when's free, book that day. And then the second show, run it, ask when's free, book that. Whereas this time we had those 4 dates like ready to go, so we knew like the gap between, and then we still flopped it a bit, being like just not planning far enough ahead. But I suppose it comes back down to like every show pays for itself, and little crumbs of profit that we do hang on to are used to produce the next show. So I can't remember exactly, but I feel like after Feed Them to the Gulls, the money ran all the way out, that we were waiting for ticket sales to then offset the cost of paying for the poster. So it was tough to get that all aligned. Not that we couldn't have just paid it out of our own pocket if we wanted to, but I think like the principle was like the show pays for itself, therefore the show will pay for itself.
Yeah, I can't remember much else about that show. I think it was another one that was affected by Spinebuster Media come in and run a show the same week.
Yeah.
Was that affected positively or negatively? Because they were giving away tickets to our show. They bought their show by or something like that.
It was their show on the Thursday and it was our show on the Saturday, where like you could have run any day that you wanted of any month, and you wanted to run the exact same week 2 days before ours, and arguably with like more prolific talent. So we were stressed of like,
Jesus,
like such a stacked card of like Lycos Jim, Jay Joshua, Mills, Shah.
Did we then have Shah debuting?
Which was like, oh man, you've stolen our pop now. Like the first time Shah's gonna get seen in Market, and it's like 2 days before the show we're on. Again, not that precious about it, like, but it was just like, oh man. Even with postering as well, because it was like, now there's 2 competing posters.
Yeah.
The exact same.
Every one of our posters, there was their poster.
Competing for the same sort of like wall real estate and the same target demo in a way of like, come on guys.
Frustrating, but kind of, I feel bad for them because I think they started to, they usually do just closed off events, right? They don't open up to the public, and I think just without really thinking, they were like, let's open this up to the public, and then there was the sinking feeling, oh shit, we fucked. Because they realized we will.
Because it definitely didn't, it wasn't malicious or anything, and it wasn't with the intention of one will screw the other. But also, like they normally do closed tapings with no fans. So we already knew that was happening. And it was only when they made the switch to like, oh, we could bring fans into this thing, it was like, oh, please.
Am I right in thinking that they were on our show, Spinebuster?
Yes, in the end.
So that was the first time we had live commentary. Because of Spinebuster. So they definitely had the right. So they definitely knew it was happening. So they definitely should have thought about it. But at least we got some wicked commentary.
Yeah, that was the first time. First show we had Gio in-house recording it. Or was it post?
It was post.
I think it was post because he wanted to do it live, but like it was the first time he was using his tech and it was not playing ball. So
that's right, yeah.
And then second show he also did, but that was in post. And then the Christmas show, I think the Christmas show was when we got Aaron, because Gio was like, oh, I'm too busy, I can't do it. So up until that point, we'd always had post-show comms, like in reverse. And then because Spinebuster has all the kit, that meant for the May show we could have like live commentaries. The first time we had like a sort of carousel of people.
When we had Damon Moses
as
well.
So again, like Moses just said he was coming to the show, and he's just like a long-time good friend of mine. So I just said, would you like to be our lead commentator for the show? Not for any real reason, like it's not that deep, it's just commentary, it is just for fun. But if you want to be in, like he's like injured at the moment, so like I don't know if he's planning to do a comeback to wrestling or whatever, but like he definitely has like the knowledge to put into wrestling shows and stuff, so he'd be valuable. And then we had like the fun experiment of like who's good on comms and who sucks.
I suck. I don't pay attention to my surroundings, so that already is a terrible start because I'm not watching the match. I'm also stressed because I'm about to wrestle Shah Samuels, and I really want to do a good job, which I did. And I'm terrible at talking anyway. I'm just going to keep making excuses until you stop me. I also had everyone around me trying to talk to me whilst I was doing it. I can't remember if I was very invested in the match. What was the match? David versus Zen.
Yeah.
I'll say no more.
You weren't that bad, David, don't worry. But so we had, I feel like the show was like Damon Moser. So like the comms is more interesting than the card almost at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it was Damon Moser and Jordan Breaks on commentary match 1. I think it was Damon Moser and Adam match 2. It was.
And then we had Mambo.
It was Dave. It was David Moser and David Francisco.
Nice.
Match 3 ? And then Damon Moser and Chuck Mambo, and then Damon Moser and me to do the main event. So that was like, I think like production wise,
what team
was definitely like another level up, and obviously like a level up. Not that Jack isn't also great as a cameraman, but like Andy Spinebuster just has like all of the bits and pieces. Like it has all the flash gear.
He's got all the gear. He's got all the knowledge. He's very good at it.
And he brought his mate. So they had like 2. Like they had hard cam and they had 2 roaming cameras as well, whereas like Jack's just like a one-man outfit. If we could have had the luxury of bringing Spinebuster back for future shows, unfortunately he's like locked down into his contract now, so what you can do. But would have been cool to maintain that relationship purely just because he's like turnaround as well. The show probably wasn't even finished and he'd already exported all the files, you know.
Oh yeah, he absolute pro.
The bell hadn't even rung on the main event and he's already like, here's all the files for you to download.
Love that. With Troubled Waters, where we started promoting very late, I think it must be either the day of or the day after Troubled Waters show. You'd sent me the sketch from, what's the guy from Brighton called that does the posters?
Brett Jones.
You sent me Brett Jones's sketch, forgetting that we'd even asked him to do the Sink or Swim. So the next show, Sink or Swim.
Because that one, I'd actually asked him in March to, I can't remember what. Like I'd asked him in advance because I'd asked him last year. For context as well, Brett was the original artist that Riptide would use for all of their posters. So still does. He's done like a couple of things with merch for me and Mambo. Does a lot of stuff for Wrestling's Gene Money, if anyone's familiar out there. But he's kind of just in well, as far as wrestling's concerned, he's just kind of in illustrator limbo, where like nobody really like touches him. I guess because like he does such good quality stuff and he's like pretty pricey. But if you've got the gift, then like you can. Well, no. So yeah, I think I had asked him last year to do a poster for us, and he was like, "Oh, I don't think I can hit that deadline. Come back to me another time. I'd love to be involved." So then I messaged him, I think maybe the start of the year for the March show, but then he was also busy, or we'd already committed to using Richie by that point.
Yeah.
But then I was like, "Oh, we've got this Rumble show on. I'm not sure when because we didn't have the dates locked, but like, would you like to do our Rumble poster? Because obviously you used to do the Riptide Rumble poster, all the Riptide posters, but it's not important." Basically, really just wanted to get him on board because of how influential Riptide has been on us, of like how we wanted to create Colossus and stuff, and what like energy we wanted to put in, blah blah blah. It would be awesome to do a callback by using their like artist to create a poster for us. But yeah, we kind of lucked out, but that I had forgotten that I'd already asked him.
Yeah, luckily that he sent us in time before we'd even started looking, and I think it was probably the best poster. I really like that poster.
It was really, really cool. Because that was always my favorite thing about the Riptide posters, was that they were traditional in a sense that they told you all the information, but they were non-traditional in the sense that they were like, he would draw the wrestlers that you are familiar with within the setting and use them to like contextualize what the poster is.
And with the tan line, that is the pop for me.
So that was so at the time as well, it was so ahead of its time. Like no one else was doing posters like that. Everybody was just doing like was it like 10-pin bowling style posters of just graphics like that. And then I think now it's become more, not normalized, but I know that Wrestling Resurgence commissions Alec to do most of their posters where it isn't just the cutouts of people, it is like an actual like artistic thing, and a lot of other people sort of started commissioning people. This is going to sound a bit hypocritical, but like, you shouldn't be using AI art for your posters, you know, like that just should not be what you use to promote your stuff. Again, we were bad for it, but like, we were starting with no money, we've risen to money, so now, you know, we bought our own logo. Obviously it used to be AI, now we've bought our own logo, now it's the version of the AI one, but we actually paid someone to make it. But yeah, as far as posters go, like, does seem like wrong, and a weird tangent in and amongst all of this stuff, but I do just think this is an important distinction to make. Please pay artists to make art for you if you're going to use it for promotional content. But yeah, the poster was my favorite. Sadly, it didn't win the P1 tournament that we ran.
Who was the winner? Was it Girls and Guts?
Yeah, it was Girls. Congratulations once again. So Troubled Waters poster was the people's choice for best poster. Maybe I should have made, maybe we should have made a Coastie for that, you know, giving her a certificate. She already won. She won.
Yeah.
She already got the clout.
How much more do you want?
But Troubled Waters, before we move on to the Rumble, I think was also when Emily started her vlog.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So if you haven't watched it, this is going to be on the exact same YouTube channel that you're watching this on. You can go find it. It's called the Lossy Show Day Vlog. There is 1, 2, and 3 episodes out there now, just behind the scenes. Emily's literally just like day-to-day filming of stuff. So go watch. Good plug. So naturally, that takes us to the Rumble. No, it doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
It was another little bit of content other than the Lost Vlog. Was we did a very sweet little video of our t-shirts.
Ooh, yeah. So this is obviously a custom job for myself, but thanks to my personal good friends at Sticky Ink, who run out of Wales. I was talking to her about getting anniversary gifts because by that point it was like mid-May, knew the July show was coming up, and then obviously the anniversary was in August. So I wanted to do something that we don't normally do in Colossus and plan ahead. I managed to commission her. She's so sweet, actually. I said, like, what's the smallest batch of shirts I can order? And she said 10. Obviously didn't want 10, there's only 4 of us. And I was really hoping to just get like 4 because I want to give them to like Jordan, Emily, and Adam. And then she was so kind that she was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, we'll just consider them samples. And then if you like them, then, you know, it'll lead to you buying a full batch of t-shirts. And it has, but I feel like it always was going to. Yeah. But it was actually really, really sweet of her to help us out like that. And it meant that we all got little management shirts the first little run. Cool. For anyone interested as well. This is the vest version of it that I cut myself. But on the front patch, it says Pro Wrestling Colossus, our little logo. And then on the back,
we'll not just sit up.
Yeah, you can't see it. Sorry. Oh, you should buy one. You should buy one so you can see it for yourself. But on the back it says For Margaret, From Margaret, Seaside Wrestling since 2024, and has an awesome picture of our sold out St. John's Community Centre. So if you want to be a part of the Lossy Posse, all you have to do is go to, I think it's pureTAC.bigcartel.com/LossyT. I believe I saved it as. Why don't I make any Pro Wrestling Colossus unique YouTube or unique Big Cartel? Can't be asked.
Yep,
it doesn't matter. Like, it's all the money's going to the same place anyway. So if you want to support, if you want to become a part of the Lossy Posse, that is where you can go immediately and buy a sapphire blue or a pistachio green t-shirt right now, or a mint green if you're a little kid and you have mom and dad's credit card. You can go there right now and go get yourself a t-shirt. But yeah, that was that. Thank you for reminding me that I did that nice thing.
Yeah, very sweet. So we had that, and we also had No Ring, Punk Pizza and Pile Driver, Volume 1.
Very cool.
So we collabed essentially with local punk show promoter, Rodent Promotions, where it's kind of, I don't know if this is unique, I don't know if this has happened before, but it's basically watch a band and go outside, watch some wrestling, go back in, watch a band, go outside, watch some wrestling. It's dark by this point, and then you watch another band, and then there's some wrestling. So that's the punk. We're the pile drivers. There was also pizza. The venue that we did it in is run by an Italian family that are really good at making pizzas. So there's your pizza part of the punk pizza and pile drivers.
101 Social in Cliftonville, owned and run by Dario and the family over there. He's a lovely, very sweet Italian man. Very cool Very, very cool. And very, very passionate about the wrestling as well. So funny.
Yeah. Is he a wrestling fan?
I don't think so. No.
No. Just loves things, I think.
Yeah, I think he just likes the events.
The venue's used as like a soup kitchen and stuff throughout the day, and they just have loads and loads of stuff there. It's a very, very cool venue.
They've
very
got like
cool
a
space.
men's mental health evening where
Yeah.
it's like talk about your feelings sort of thing. Really good.
And then there's us in their back garden doing, what did we do?
First one by this point, it was you versus Alex Aces in a hair versus hair match. That was crazy.
Banger. Have we released that?
I'm pretty sure both copy. No, sorry. It's actually only the problem on Instagram Live. But Sam has the footage for all of the matches because all the matches were filmed. We just also live streamed them from the Colossus account. It's only been your match both times that didn't make it onto the.
And that's because I filmed the other matches and posted it to the grid or whatever.
Yes.
Understood. Well, that sucks.
So I keep messing that up.
Sucks for me.
I keep giving that responsibility to somebody else.
Yeah. It'd be cool to get those matches off of Sam though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because my match was wicked.
Good point. Yeah.
What did you have? Your match was wicked too.
Body slam challenge against Ben McDonald.
Ben McDonald.
Good times.
Yeah, that did rock. And then just crazy main event.
Madness.
Just blood and
Connor Mills and little baby Mills, Buck Garcia versus SJ Randall and Rockstar Pulley Adams in his element. You know, I feel like Pulley Adams just has so much plot armor at these Punk Pizza and Pile Driver shows because the gimmick is literally the two things he does. Star and wrestler, he just has to win all matches.
Yeah, he rocks. It's funny with Pulley Adams. I think he thinks of himself as a little tacky wrestler, but he's a deathmatch wrestler, and he was in his element. He loved it. He was throwing himself off things. Yeah, bleeding. Just crazy.
Just funny how much that weekend in particular ended up becoming his weekend, where like he was in the main event of the crazy, whatever you want to call that, hardcore main event of Punk Pizza Pile Driver Volume 1, and then the very next day, so it's the first instance of us kind of creating any sort of like lossy weekender almost. And then it took us straight into the Rumble. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, you can go watch it on YouTube, but if it's been months now, so you should have already watched it by now. Spoilers, Pulley Adams wins the first ever single swim Rumble by the Sea,
ultimately eliminating Michael Oku.
Freaking Oku.
Crazy debut for the
I would argue not the best debut of the year, but again, the votes came in, and congratulations, Michael Oku, Coastie debut of the year. I would have said Birdman. But maybe I'm biased.
Yeah, very happy with Adam winning. He said he didn't know. Said it now. Yeah, we like Adam didn't know he was over or anything, so it was very, very sweet to put him in that situation, I think.
It's one of those things, you're not trying to gatekeep it because you don't want him to know, or you don't want him to get like a big head about it. You just kind of want that like organic reaction of when he does win. How is he actually going to react? And it was very sweet, very happy for him.
Felt the need to grab the microphone as well, didn't he?
Yeah, do his big like rah speech, but no notes, it's fine.
All for it.
Yeah, it's all good. But it was just again, I feel like as we progress now, like we've like coming up to a year, each show I feel like there's a bit of a coming out party for somebody who, like, from where we were last August, where everybody was so new, not necessarily new as in they'd never wrestled before, but like conceptually never wrestled on a show that was like what we were trying to create, if that makes sense. So I think after the sort of like first show jitters were out of the way, maybe even after the second show, but like at the Christmas show, I mean, again, we don't have to necessarily define each show by where somebody had their big moment. Christmas, it was very much Alex Aces versus Connor Mills, where like Alex Aces, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this, like came back through the curtain like almost in tears because he was so proud of himself. And fair enough, like he absolutely killed it. Like he stepped up to, like, Mills didn't bring himself down, not like this sounds like horrible, but like Mills didn't bring himself down to Alex Aces' like level or competency. Alex Aces very much rose to the challenge of, can I perform at a level with someone as good as Connor Mills? And 100% he smashed that. Then, like, March, let's just say, for argument's sake, Birdman, or SJ Randall versus Mills again, another cool coming out party for a couple of people. And then I don't have one for Troubled Waters, but that's not important. Again, that's what I'm saying. Not every show has to have some sort of like big eureka moment for somebody, but just that there are sort of tangible moments for certain people. It's sort of like I don't know why I'm thinking of this as my metaphor, but in Digimon, in the first series, maybe this is like true of all cartoons, you know, where each character gets their own introduction episode where you like, learn a bit more about them.
Yeah, it's like Power Rangers as well.
Sure,
like, you know, every episode it was like, oh, it's the Blue Rangers episode.
Yeah. So there's stuff like that where not necessarily that the Christmas show was Alex Ace's show, but like there was that moment for him to present himself as, I am this wrestler. Yeah. I have delivered this awesome match. And then again, progressively as we've come along through the months. So to get to the Rumble and like kind of unintentionally, kind of things just fell into place and we made things make sense based on the pieces we had in front of us. But like Pulley Adams and his original tag partner, Didi Tourette, like Didi wanted to take a step away from wrestling, so we had to make that make sense. They had to, like we chose to make that make sense and contextualize it within the show. And now Pulley Adams is like a little lost lamb, has no friend, but he's this baddie, and he like goes to Ashmore and Stephen Wolf the first time, and that doesn't work. Then he goes to Shah and Jordan the second time, and that doesn't work. And then I can't remember his third pairing. Ben and Roth, Ben McDonald and Alexander Roth, and like that doesn't work. So he's falling out with everybody, like nobody, and like constantly is the reason that his team keeps losing. Even though within like, if you've watched the shows as well, he keeps giving the impression that like he's the leader of the group, and then is always the reason that things go wrong. For that to all play out, and then to arrive at the Rumble, where he kind of like unassumingly comes out at, I can't remember what number, like 20 something, like not very significant. No. Just kind of slips in.
Who, Adam?
Yeah.
22.
Do you remember that because you were right before him or right after him?
I was 21.
Right.
I'm sure I was either 21 or 22, so he was like 22 or 23.
So to be within that story now that isn't necessarily a story we had planned to tell consciously, it was just like, as the bits progressed, we were like, oh, that could be a thing that happens. That could be... Because even when we decided we wanted to do a Rumble, we hadn't really been like, we need to do a Rumble because we need this person to win a Rumble.
Yeah, no, fair. Like, so many different people were, this person's the winner. Oh, no, now it's this person's the winner. And they fit for themselves. And now this person's the winner.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And you'll never know who you are, even though you've disappointed us so much. But I suppose that is like not the problem, but just like that is how we've operated and put Colossus together show by show, is we haven't necessarily had like big conceptual ideas for storylines. It's just like each show exists in a vacuum. We plan the next show based on what happened on the last show, but we aren't like married to...
And there's so many things that happen between that show and that show as well in real life that changes this. We have to adapt with those things, and luckily I think we've either gotten lucky or we're just exceptionally good at this and maybe able to make the players work and the stories work and just able to really utilize the things in front of us.
I think the main benefit that we have is how self-aware we are that nobody cares. So to bother trying to tell coherent stories when we only run once every 2 months is like, there is no way a fan is coming to July with memories from May of like, oh my God, that's so right. Yeah, they do hate each other. So every time it's like a reintroduction, a constant like how do you do that concisely within the show without taking away too much from people being like, oh, shut up, without doing like too much promo of like, and last time you cheated on me and you're sleeping with my girlfriend now and I'm gonna kill you because your dad ate my mum. What's that story? Why aren't we doing that one?
Because we did try for a little while, and I wonder if this was either a mistake or something that just didn't matter, is try to get the MC Jack to give the backstories of which he still does to an extent, but like the detail we had to put into it. And actually, did that matter? Was it a mistake because it alienated people that weren't there, or was it just not important?
Yeah, like do people, like, my impression is people don't care, that they just come for the fun of the show.
Yeah.
But like, am I wrong? And there are people that are watching matches being like, I wonder what his story is.
Yeah, right. It's the Marvel Comics Stan Lee thing where every comic book someone picks up,
you can jump in at any
should
point.
be able to read it as if it was the first comic book you've ever read. I think whenever we're booking shows, I always have that in mind. So yeah, we did have a Rumble.
Did.
We had some awesome surprises. We've already mentioned Michael Oku.
Which even he was like a bit of a litmus test of, does Margate care about indie wrestling?
Yeah.
Or do we just, like, it doesn't matter who's on the bill, it's just they see wrestling, they see family show, they go, okay, I'm sold.
Yeah, right. I think because A, Mike was a complete surprise.
Yes.
B, when he came out, there was the whole front half of the room that did know who he was and reacted because he was such a surprise so well to him that sort of like expression just flooded through the room, right? Like you just kind of saw it move backwards, like, oh my god, this person must be huge. This must be a huge deal because of the reaction of those first 4 or 5 months. But I think there was like a, oh, this is cool, like moment, but equally, like, I guess it's how you frame it.
Yeah.
Like with Stephen Wolf at the last show, like, is Stephen Wolf a huge deal? I don't know. But we made out, like, we said he was. Like, he came in and he was from America and he's a huge deal, and so like he was treated that way. And I think it's how we decide to frame it.
Because I would say of the 3 surprises that we did have, I would argue maybe Michael was the 3rd biggest one. In terms of reaction.
Yeah. 100% agree. Who do you place number 2?
I would say it's actually like a bit of a first equal kind of a toss-up. Like I could go either way, where I would say Johnny would be my number 2.
Yeah.
Only because his reaction was expected. Like, he was a surprise in that he's just actually Johnny from Northdown, who runs the brewery that produces the beers that we sell, but he's not a wrestler in any sense. So it's a surprise to people who didn't see any of the internet stuff or social media posts that he did. But like his wife, his kids, friends and family were there to like not laugh at him, but just like see it play out. Right?
I did, to be fair, as well. I thought he rocked.
Was awesome. But because he was like an expected surprise, like the only surprise was what number he was coming out at. Like, he wasn't necessarily a surprise because we told people he was in the Rumble, but he was a surprise because he's just a normal bloke. What's he doing in the Rumble? Whoa! As opposed to when Adam came out, was like a complete like left field, so random.
So you placing Adam number 1?
I think so.
So the Seagulls, I think you're forgetting someone.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
My god!
Right, so
that's wrong.
So I kind of think that places Mike down to number 4.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Johnny Northdown 3, and then 2 is
so objectively, all 3, like the top 3 surprises aren't wrestlers. No. Well, that's not true. No, number 1 is a wrestler.
Yeah. So you had 2, the goal. We'll talk more about the goal in a minute. I think we should. Let's just skip straight to number 1. What's his name?
Zach Angels.
He is a member of the kids club at Thanet Pro Wrestling, and he has got more fire and more like just energy than anyone else in that ring.
So much actual riz.
Like he came out like so. He's got this really long introduction.
Backbone by Stormzy.
Like just like the drop is like a minute in, and he was like really concerned that. In fact, they've been like, "Oh, I'll just go out when my music hits." Like, no, wait for the drop. He goes, "No, people don't want to wait that long." I was like, "Just wait for the drop." And the music hit. It really did bring everyone up, didn't it? Like, people didn't know what it was, but it's number 30, so it's got to be something cool.
So many elements factored into that moment, because it was like, he was entrant number 30, so there was anticipation of like, who's going to be the last one in? Then his song is so long that like, if it isn't someone cool, this is such a letdown.
It got people into it big time, didn't it?
Then like, obviously they just a natural, the beat moves at the speed of the beat, so people start going, get behind it. So there's just all of these elements of like, who's it gonna be? And then just, you ain't got no backbone, and out he comes, and it's just Little Seb, and I think that just like it bucked all expectations of who or what it could be.
Because like with Michael Oku, like you either know him or don't know him, but you don't really get excited just seeing him because he's just a guy. Same with Johnny, like, is he a wrestler, is he not? Like, there is no doubt that is just an 11-year-old kid that's full of fire. So the whole room was able to just react to that, and it did. Like, it was so much fun.
It's gonna be hard to top next year.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be 12, so like
he'll be
it stops being so cute by then. He'll probably have spots and stuff, and so we got
the beard.
Yeah, he rocked it. He came in. This is just the weirdest thing. Little Sebby, or Little Zach Angels, as we're meant to call him, comes in. He works with Roth, who's just like king of aura. He works with Ashmore, which is just crazy. but then he works with Mills and he works with Michael Oku. Michael Oku was on bloody... What was he on the week after? He was on Ring of Honor, but the week before he was wrestling Little Sebby. It's just crazy, and that kid will never have that opportunity again. Same with Michael Oku coming out.
I thought you were going to say Michael Oku would never have that opportunity.
Yeah. Even with Michael Oku, like, he doesn't know what he came down for. Chris Oak coming out and being kicked in the face by Michael Oku, and then Michael Oku's on Ring of Honor. Like, what is happening in pro wrestling?
Degrees of separation.
Yeah.
How you can now link to Colossus / Chris Oak can now be linked to Ring of Honor in a way.
In one step.
Yeah, literally, like one connective Michael Oku step is suddenly you're now talking about Ring of Honor in the same breath. But yeah, stuff like that. I think like that moments like that are what makes Colossus so much fun to like create, because we get to like reminisce on these things that are like objectively madness.
Yeah, right. That the Little Sebby entrance is on our Instagram. So definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. It's so much fun. Or just watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's only one.
Yeah. And you know he comes out last. You can just skip to the like, last 5 minutes or whatever. Annoyingly though, at the Rumble, so with the shirts, because I remember this now, with the shirts, Sticky Ink had also sent me like an extra black one just to like sort of see as a sample. So my plan was to have it on show. In addition to like on the show day, the four of us also like running around doing errands and stuff, kind of modeling them in a way that it's like more of like a subconscious, like not necessarily like going, wow, what's going on over there? Look at this shirt I'm wearing. Yeah. But in the hopes that people would see it and be like, oh wow, that shirt's cool. Where can I get one of those? And then get to the shop and again, this might be like a cultural thing for fandom in Margate that whether or not it was worth a try. I mean, we managed to sell a couple anyway, 5 or 6, I think. But you had said feedback from the shop was if we had shirts to hand that day, we would have sold loads of shirts.
Everyone inquired.
Because it was just in like pre-order.
The idea of pre-ordering was
yeah, they just don't understand that.
But then the people who did pre-order, they were able to pick any colour, right? Because we had a yellow one through.
Yeah, like there was no official like behind the shop like colour swatch of like you can pick from these. You just say a color and we'll write it down because we'll work on it. And like so there's a couple that are like unique one of ones now because they're the only one of that color sort of thing. So if you're coming to the Colossus show and you notice that there is somebody in a weird like obscure color t-shirt, just know that they got it in pre-order. So next time I freaking say pre-order a t-shirt if you want one. Make sure you go to the shop and buy one so you get what you want. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck with the regular colors like sapphire and pistachio because you were too proud to go to the shop and pre-order a t-shirt, especially when we made them £5 cheaper on the pre-order just to incentivize the order. Now you got to pay 20 quid. You have to. For an adult t-shirt, you can still get kids ones for this.
I feel so stupid.
Yeah, egg on your face. I've been watching this right now. I'll tell you that much.
Kind of perfect segue into Coastal Clash, I guess. The t-shirts,
right?
Because the intention was to have t-shirts for Coastal Clash. Unfortunately, they didn't come. They came a couple of days afterwards.
Yes. The box is literally just off screen here.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. So t-shirts will definitely be at the next show, right?
Yeah. November 1st. If you're gonna buy a ticket, make sure you buy a shirt.
Yeah. Make it up to us. Something we did have though for Coastal Clash. The meme.
Oh my god, yes. So I don't even really remember how this like started.
It's when we did our first unbagging.
The banner. You guys won't understand that. It's not worth explaining it to you. But was it in the opening that people were asking?
Yeah. So we put out a thing maybe a couple of days before the morning of and said, guess what's in the bag? What's Jordan got in the bag? Everyone was ring aprons. And then I think even once we had put up what it was in the banner, I think people still wanted ring aprons.
Right.
And so it became a bit of a meme whenever we would do any sort of anything. The ring aprons would come up. Yeah. Ring aprons did come up.
But joke's on you, internet. We've got them.
And you paid for it.
That's so true. Yeah, I suppose, in the video, we say thanks, but like, just again, a very quick thank you to CCP Podcasting, to HCW Podcast, to the Shakespeare Pub, to Northdown Brewery, and to all the lovely men, women, children, and all the beautiful people beyond the binary that did donate their own personal money so they can get their names up on the ring apron forever or until we produce a new set. Yeah, thanks so much for helping subsidize the cost. So on the left hand side of it, which is actually the right hand side of it, is obviously the brand logos. That these are people who like actually put in quite a wedge of money, which we're very grateful for. And these guys on the right-hand side here are all the names of all the lovely people who personally donated a mixture. So like there were 3 tiers. You could either donate £10, £15, or £20. And obviously the more money you donated, the bigger you got your name on the ring apron. But these will be on every show going forward. So just so there's always that, like, thank you so much for everything you've done. As we go forward, maybe we'll commission more things and give more opportunities for people to get their names a part of like things within the annals of time in Pro Wrestling Colossus. But this is just like the jumping off point, and it's like very, I don't know if fulfilling is like, it is fulfilling, but I don't know if that's the right word in terms of like having something like that produced to now be like a part of the fabric, the literal fabric of the show, kind of forever and constantly on display. Like, thank you to you and you. Like, it means so much that you care enough to want to donate your money to help us improve the aesthetic of the show.
Absolutely. I guess talk pre-show stuff before we get into the actual show. So we've got the aprons. We don't have t-shirts, so we had, I guess, what will now be annual, but the first ever coasters.
Yeah, so similar to like what will now be an annual event, a staple event, right, for Pro Wrestling Colossus in the Rumble by the Sea and the Single Swim Rumble itself. Now we have the annual awards. There were questions of like, why are you guys doing end of year awards in August? You don't understand that like a Colossus year is August to August.
It's the end of our year.
So,
who asked those questions?
So, I mean, what do we want to say? Like, there was, again, it was all fan voted. I think over 70 people submitted, because I remember it saying 70 something.
It was like 75.
Yeah. So over 70 people placed votes. It was pretty obvious scrolling through some that there were a lot of like nepo votes for a couple of people because the way we set it up, not every category was like obligatory to fill out in order to submit your votes.
My favorite like submissions were nothing was filled out and you'd get all the way to the bottom and like, rest of the year Alex Aces. I wonder who wrote that.
Because I thought I had circumvented that a little bit by you had to sign in with your email address and it wouldn't let you submit another one because the cookies would like catch you.
Yes.
So
what, one submission per person?
Yeah, essentially. But what I didn't account for was the fact that you didn't have to vote for all of the things. So like, I feel like some of the categories had like the full 76 votes and then others had like 40 because people's friends hadn't bothered to vote for other things, which I don't know whether we leave it like that for next year because it's just funny to see it like that, or whether we make all categories obligatory so like everybody gets voted for something. Either way, it's a waste of a vote though, isn't it? Like, because if you weren't going to vote for it anyway, you're just giving away a vote to something random regardless.
I also feel like if I'd asked someone to fill that out and just put my name and they had to fill out the whole thing, they probably wouldn't bother. I think leave it as it is. It's funny. Good to know. Seeing the silly.
It's way funnier to just see the blatant like, got my friends to vote for me.
Fun though, it just made for a nice little thing of us.
Just a little bit of acknowledgement of like, thank you for the work you've done this last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we did get to sing at Alex Ace's praises a little bit for him and Connor Mills. We got to talk about Buck. We got to talk about Ben. We got to talk about
male wrestler of the year over here, according to the first team.
Oh yeah.
But somehow Connor Mills, overall wrestler of the year.
Yeah. Need to kind of find out what the
that you were the best man, but somehow you weren't.
Put me against the women though.
No, not for me.
Definitely Connor Mills. You mentioned the poster competition we did as well, so that was something just again to highlight the hard work.
Yeah, because obviously like the wrestlers are always going to get the plaudits of like great match, great wrestler, great merch, etc. But just wanted to spotlight the other sort of people who have done great work for us this year, which is like every individual artist who has created each poster as we've gone along.
I guess the big thing from Coastal Clash once we finally get to the show is Zazaya.
Oh, okay. Were you waiting for me to tell you? Because it's your thing you're trying to bring to the table.
No.
Dramatic.
I didn't know if to call him Zazoro.
No one should ever call him that.
Maybe I should give some context on that as
well.
Yeah. So we had Zazaya come over from
Espanol.
He's not from Spanish. No, he's from España.
From that place. We brought him over. Because we wanted someone awesome to wrestle the Sink or Swim Rumble winner, Lee Adams, and I think he kind of ticked all those boxes.
Yeah, I think after the test of do people care about people like Michael Oak, it's like that was basically the thumbs up of
go on then. Get him in. Yeah, so we had him fly over the day before because we were again running a no-ring show. Punk, Pizza, and Pile Drivers Volume 2. And you lost, right?
He did, unfortunately. Of the few people I'm willing to put over.
Yeah, good, like strong, hard worker. Definitely paid their dues.
Yeah, good work ethic, I would say. Like very like a sponge, just absorbs all the feedback,
absolutely,
applies it as necessary.
Don't blow up their ego too much. They are a blow-up.
As far as you're concerned, internet, you don't need to know their real name, but their working name is Gulliver Robinson. I don't know if they have a cage match count yet. Currently undefeated, 1-0 against me. So it was really just I think like a polarizing contest from last time I wrestled Big Country Ben McDonald in the Body Slam Challenge. This time just kind of more of like a straight, just like real fight with hardcore element.
So, also had a banger.
The 30 count match.
The 30 count match. First to 30. I really want to put that out as well.
Yeah, we should definitely get that footage. It's good we can talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah, but it's a reminder for when we come back.
But again, brings to like another, and this might just be a summer thing of the Rumble show became a kind of a Colossus weekender by having Friday night at 101 Social doing the first volume of PvP1, and then similarly we moved straight into August, whereas the exact same thing of like the Friday was PvP2 straight into Colossal Clash 2, and like I think from like a fan perspective, I hope that like that is fun, where it's two completely different styles, completely different types of shows of wrestling, but fun to come along to both and be involved in both if you're a fan. Yeah. Hopefully, question mark.
I feel like there was crossover as well. Between, like, people were at the first one and the second one.
But the main, like, not a negative, but like the thing I would say for me is just how much it just eliminates Friday as a day to prepare for Saturday.
I really need that day to like. Yeah, it's a very stressful couple of days just because having to fit everything in, and there's just certain things I have to like not do. Like part of my like process of leading up to a show, I'm like, how do I fit this in when we have this going on?
Yeah, like both times we've done it now, it's come off like immaculate.
Yeah.
Like the Friday and Saturday have been awesome, but it definitely is on the Thursday night where you're thinking like, I need to be ready for Saturday now because I don't have Friday to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, a bit of pain in the ass. Worth doing.
100%.
So much fun.
Right.
Yeah, this time
the stress that it induces is justified by the result.
Yes, absolutely. So I think we were partway through Pizza and Pile Driver Volume 2 where Emily had to go and get Zazoya from the train station, bring him in, had a match. So it was him, Pully Adams, and SJ Randall versus Ben, and debuting in Margate, I guess. Well, Mark Trucchio and Lacey. During the match, I think we should bury Stu for this. This is really funny. Stuart has 3 people that he's kind of partnered with. Little Key and Cameron's joined in, and SJ Rand says Pully Adams, Adam, not his name, Zazoro, not his name, and Kian, not his name. So wrong on all 3 accounts. So I think that's definitely worth bringing up. And then he told them to get the dildo. There was a dildo.
So if you weren't interested in the shows by now, there was a dildo.
Yep.
How about that?
Hell yeah, that's a plug. That leads us to the next day, Clash 2.
That's correct. That is information that is correct.
You and I had a banger. There is a trend here. I just have bangers.
It's good. I'm glad we can facilitate that for you.
In my opinion.
I said this to you at the time, and I think you agreed. You kind of felt the same. Like, I do think the match went really well, and I'm really happy with it. And it's the first time we have ever wrestled.
Wow.
But I just didn't feel like I was fully in that match because there was just too much going on the day. Where like it's not even really stuff I can offload to Emily or Adam to then like chill me out. It was definitely like things that I like, just so many levels of things I was in charge of that I still was thinking about while I was wrestling you, which like isn't normal for me. I'm generally like in the moment with a lot of stuff when it comes to wrestling, but I guess just because I don't really know. I don't really have any explanation.
I find it every lossy day. There's too much going on where you can Like, so my match with Shah, like most of it was called on the fly. My match with Roth, a lot on the fly. I just don't have, like, the show started and I haven't said loads of Roth yet, and I'm running around putting the chairs out, trying to sort out what's going on in the music people haven't brought the cables, like the car machine isn't working at the bar. It's only little issues that for some reason we have to fix. So you're doing that, but then also this person's hurt themselves, and how are you going to deal with that? There's too much going on for you to focus on that.
Yeah, not that this was necessarily what it was, but close personal friend Chuck Mambo wrestled Big Country Ben McDonald in the opener of Coastal Clash, and he took a clothesline in the corner and just like threw his head back and cracked the back of his head open on, like, I think maybe the turnbuckle or just something, whatever it was, like sliced his head. So he had like this huge gash. Suddenly he's just like pissing with blood. Thankfully, we were able to communicate to each other while he was in the match that, number one, he wasn't concussed, and number two, that he was actually just fine. So that put me at ease pretty immediately. But then when he came to the back and you just kind of see, like, it wasn't flat. I'd be embellishing the story if I said his head was flapping around, but it wasn't. Like, there was just a big, there was just a big hole in his head. So I was definitely just like worried about him and what to do next. And then the suggested like next steps were to go to QEQM and just get it glued up, which he did end up doing. But the only reason he didn't go immediately was because he wanted to watch our match.
So I should definitely go to A&E. We're just about to go out. Oh, I'll watch you first.
Yeah, I'll give it 15 minutes, which is very sweet. But like stuff like that was happening where I was like, oh my god, like Mambo's hurt. What do we do about that? Even though I already knew.
Yeah.
Think plans were in motion to remedy the problem. Stuff like that.
And like now we're taken away for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Kissing each other.
So we can go like pat ourselves on the back of what good wrestlers we are by wrestling ourselves in front of the crowd that we have cultivated. Yeah, it's very, very self-indulgent.
Yeah,
unbelievably so.
What does that poster say again? Believe in your own hype.
Believe in your source.
Believe in your own source. Yeah. There you go.
So without putting too much emphasis on what we did, obviously it was awesome to bring Mark and Kieran to the show and introduce them as characters on the show now.
This is a cool thing with Colossus, is we're able to use the same core people but still bring in people, and it makes sense and it'd be fun. But
especially obviously you were saying about Zazaya, have that main event with Pully Adams.
Yeah, also rocked, right?
Yeah. It's hard because like I feel like we're objective enough that we would say it sucked or like it wasn't good.
I've never been scared to tell Adam how much he sucks.
Yeah,
but which is the reason why he's getting so good, right? Which is bullying him into being good.
Yeah, it was definitely like, again, like what I was saying about like certain people's coming out moments, certain people's Digimon episode.
Yeah,
like that was like a very really like proud dad moment of like he was awesome,
big time.
He was awesome.
Yeah,
this is obviously quintessential pro, just the man, just very good at what he does. And all the very best to you, Zazaya, wherever you may end up in the future. You know, it's taking a bit of time out to go home for a bit. Rumors are running rampant about what he is up to in the future. But whether or not Lossie had any influence on that, I mean, who knows? Who's to say?
Sounds like it might have.
Who's to say, you know? 1 minute you're at Colossus, next minute you're at
You're welcome, brother. Kind of brings us to the end of
so like, with any luck, right, future episodes of this podcast which we will endeavor to do and actually like commit to this now, because the reason we've brought it back is because there was actually like 3 or 4 requests to like, oh, where's the podcast?
There was definitely 3 requests.
Right, so there was more than 0 requests for us to keep it going.
There were the 3 people that watched it.
Yes. So that is the reason so this is why we're doing this big catch up now. But in theory, after Invasion of the Body Slam in 2025,
get that done.
We'll just talk about that, and it won't be a million.
Are we calling it Invasion of the Body Slammers 2, the Halloween Hangover?
I don't know.
I think we should.
The name is already so long already. Why would we make it even longer?
We just call it that.
Yeah.
I need some justification as to it being a Halloween thing on November 1st.
Sure.
It kills me. Can I ask you a few questions?
All right.
If you could give yourself some advice 1 year ago when we started doing this, what might it be?
It's a great question. It's probably something I should have thought about, and then maybe in the edit of this, I will just like skip my ums and ahs, so it kind of jump cuts immediately to my answer. But do you have an answer for this already?
I don't.
I feel like I don't have something like fully formed.
I think it's hard to. It's always worked better when we've been so prepared. That's just such a life thing, though, isn't it? Because we are so prepared, it works out well for us. I don't necessarily have advice to give myself, because I also enjoy the process of having to fuck up and then learn, and then I like that process. So I wouldn't go back and go just do it right this time.
Right.
Because that journey's important. So no, I don't think I have any advice necessary. Also, I'm full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to listen to myself.
I don't think this is advice or very helpful, but like I've always, in the last year, I was always worried about other events, whether it be wrestling or whether it be like Dreamland or football or other stuff, like affecting how the show will be received or how many people will come to the show because of other things.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we were saying like the Spinebuster show 2 days before our show, that sort of stuff, like whether or not that will have a knock-on effect on our show in any way. So I don't know if it's necessarily advice, but just like, because like, just if my advice to like myself from a year ago was like, just don't worry. Like, that is not, like, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
It's don't sweat the small stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a life thing.
Yeah, which isn't very like, that's what I learned in the last year, which is normal,
What an
normal
idiot.
things to do in life. It's not very like helpful.
I think the first couple of shows we were able to just slow things down in our mind, like on show day, watch the first match. Kind of since then, it's been so hectic. We just throw so much into show day that I forget to get my mat ready for it.
Yeah, like I feel like we've got more ideas that we've forgotten to implement on a show.
We don't do this bit, we don't do that, but we don't mention this, and it's just because we're so hectic. I think whether that's a list for me, maybe, or whether that's just
whether we're just overloading ourselves with like too many ideas.
It's like good ideas.
It's hard.
Just always have these good ideas that will just be on the next one.
Yeah.
Like if we don't do it this time, we'll do it next time.
But when you say that, there's definitely like things that we wanted to film and stuff on show day that we still haven't filmed because there just isn't time that we have available to ourselves to dedicate to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we really need to surround ourselves with better people that can help us.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, those peripheral people. It's your fault. Do you think we've made any mistakes over the years?
Mistakes. I mean, the answer isn't no, but I can't think of any mistakes.
There's been learning points. There's been things that have happened. You go, oh, okay.
Yeah, I suppose like the one, I don't know if you were going to say this, and you did mention it earlier, like the mistake that we unfortunately have to just live in now is that we started this promotion in August, like mid-August, which is like peak summer holidays. So, and I don't mind saying this and just being honest about it, but like Coastal Clash 2, up until probably the last few days before the show, was en route to being our worst pre-selling show of all time, which was like real sad. We've had 1 year, it's been awesome growth from like Christmas up until then, and then suddenly it just hit this like stagnation. But we are like going head to head with summer holidays, people going away, like people like not being around, sort of thing. So it was like definitely like the pool of fans that we normally draw on to like come and enjoy our shows most likely aren't around in August.
You're absolutely.
We can't fight that now because I mean we can fight it by just not running in August, but August 16, 17 is like
it is the anniversary.
Is the date of the year, or you know, it's the birth of the show.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, what do we do about Coastal Clash 3? Where do we plot that now? Do we put it like early September? Do we put it early August? Like how does it fit? And then working backwards, do we have to move the Rumble somewhere else? Like so, just all these things that like.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, how have we learned? I think if it's a mistake, how do we learn from it? Do we just suck it up and like it's not that important ultimately? Because like what we want is the show to fund itself, which I think it's always going to
pretty
do.
much.
But from an ego point of view, we want that big like sellout brag, right? So we need to plot it in a place where the most people are going to be available to come to it. So that would be like what we do in future. But again, that's a year away. Maybe we've already tapped into something by that point that like fixes that problem. I don't know.
Maybe. Do you have any goals for a year away? Coastal Clash 3? Anything you want to have achieved? Anything you want to, what do you want it to look like?
It's hard because I feel like we always said this, you know, first show was just like, the first show was supposed to be the only show. It wasn't supposed to be an ongoing thing. It's only because of how much fun and how successful it's been that it's led to subsequent shows. And now we're here a year later, having run 7 shows, trying to make a plan for what happens in year 2. And in year 1, we already like saved up enough profit so we could get the ginormous like backsplash banner that was really nice. We've crowdfunded the ring aprons. We have dabbled in merchandise. And again, like all of the, like especially merchandise, like it's not essential for our show at all. I think like a lot of promotions get like way too lost in the sauce of like they're getting title belts, they're getting merchandise, like all of these like super unimportant things where you should just be like, how do we make the show cooler? How do we make people enjoy the show more? Like we don't need these t-shirts, but like we've existed for a year now, and there was enough, similar to like us bringing back the podcast, there was enough of a smattering of chat on the internet being like, oh, when are you guys gonna do merch? That like kind of justify like, okay, maybe we should like try.
Yeah, right.
But in terms of what we do now in year 2, like what do we like, I gag on like the first couple of podcasts, the first 2 that we did was like, we're saving up money so we can get Scotty Too Hottie.
Yep.
Like, is that the goal for year 2? Is we save up our pocket money to bring in someone famous in the hopes that they will like, the risk versus reward there is like worth it, and it isn't just like
The other thing is, yes, I want to do that.
No,
just because the aforementioned
the problems
that we face. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Yeah, I think we should bring someone in, because I also think at some point we're going to need a bigger boat. That venue can only fit so many of the Lossy Posse in.
But my only hang up of like not going to a bigger venue is, you know, we're touching either side of 200 people come to the show now. Is that where it's maxed out? Because we aren't selling so many tickets to shows that we're like we just cannot fit anybody. We're not getting like messages on messages that it would justify like a 300 or a 400 seater. But like if we did go to something with that capacity,
we would have to just
are we now just doing 200 people in a 400 person room as opposed to 200 in a 200?
We would have to do something different to get
like
the extras in.
What is the unique selling point that would
Scotty's Too
justify
Hottie.
it? Steal.
Yeah, exactly. It's something to think about. We've got a year to do it.
Or in like a smaller sense, like is a year 2 goal like Colossus keychains or Colossus beer cruise? You know,
easy,
like smaller. Again, merchandise is not essential for what we are creating, but I feel like people want to rep the brand now.
If people want it, I feel like those things will just trickle in throughout the year anyway.
Yeah.
They always do.
You though, you got a goal, a want, a need for year 2?
I think a new venue is not a new space to call home.
A Lossy Mania. A big one.
A Margate Mania, yeah. So somewhere to be that brings more people in, and just something big.
Looking back on the year, I'm really, really proud of everything we have, like we, relative to Emily and Adam as well, everything we have achieved, like the promotion itself, like obviously Adam's on each side, but like the Gala's like a cool edition, like a weekly edition of just like here's some bits and pieces. Emily's vlog is really cool,
really fun.
Like, I really like, obviously like we're in it loads. I would like
I
it,
really
but,
enjoy
like,
watching myself.
I like seeing the bits where I'm on screen, but stuff like that I really like. It gives a good flavor of all of our personalities all at once, and then I'm really happy with like all of our friends who come from afar to come and do the shows and like always give it like 110%, like over deliver a lot of the times. Trainees as well. Trainees could improve in a few areas. I feel like some people get a bit entitled, like why am I not on the next card? But like maybe shut up.
Yeah, maybe grow up.
Yeah, so you know, maybe just, you know, a couple of trainees need to wind the necks in a little bit and just be grateful like that they get to be a part of the thing.
Just trust the process,
yeah,
right?
Please,
it will happen.
We have your back, like ultimately. But a new venue, that's interesting.
A new venue, just
in this, like, again, this is a pretty niche. Like Chaos have their normal Kings Oak leisure center, then they also do not leisure center, it's called Kings Oak School. They do their shows, and then they also do their big gate leisure center where it's like 800 people come. Like something like that would be cool for us. But then you don't want to run before you can walk. I'm under the impression that we're walking. Maybe we can, you know, pick it up to a canter, maybe a little jog. I don't know if we're running yet, but it's only a year, and we've already achieved like loads.
So next for us would be November 1st. Invasion of the Body Slammers 2, the
Halloween Hangover. So like, again, before we cut this off, because it has been going for time, so hopefully if you're still watching this, thank you very much. I'm not going to cut this into 2 podcasts. You're going to get one long one. Last year we filmed as kind of a tie-in promotional content was the football kids. With doing the penalties.
Yes.
Do we run that back?
I think we've got to do something. Yeah.
All right.
We'll endeavor to get something out. Yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts. I feel like we have to for some reason now I'm getting antsy that we need to finish this, even though we've just been sat here talking for as long as we've been talking.
Yeah.
But
Well, we've run out of content. we've summed up the year.
Anything to send the people home with? Any little scoops?
Little scoop. No. I'm just gonna the things that we are doing that we've got at the moment. I'm gonna keep in.
Very good.
We'll just.
As always, thank you everyone who chooses to be or would like to be a part of the Lost Boxing. Whether you come to a show or whether you just watch stuff on YouTube and feel like that's enough support, because that is enough support. Whether you contribute with money or with your time, thank you so much for supporting us. We will try to do the same now and not just do one annual 10-hour podcast. We'll actually try and do one after each show.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, please subscribe to the newsletter so you can read Adam's Gull, which again, funny anecdote. It was my pitch to call it the Daily Bugle. So obviously, for Spider-Man fans, you'll get that one. Now it's just mutated into the Gull, which I think is much more streamlined, much better. Please subscribe to the channel because this is where you can get Emily's lossy show day vlog. And
Need a better name, bro.
You don't rate the show day vlog?
It's just not punny enough.
It's just exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's just too straightforward.
And then please subscribe to the channel because this is where you can watch all of Pro Wrestling Colossus matches for free. We don't no paywall yet until we get too famous that we have to put it behind a Patreon. And then it's also where you can watch the super self-indulgent podcast when you're not doing anything else. So if you do want to support us, prowrestlingcolossus@gmail.com. If you want to collab in any kind of particular way, whether you want to sponsor us, whether you want to give us food, drink, tickets to your business, like we got bowling tickets as a raffle prize at the last show. Follow us on social media at Pro Wrestling Colossus on Instagram. I think it's the same on Facebook, or PW Colossus on Twitter. Down with X, it's Twitter. I'll be damned if I call it X.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, anything else you want to plug before we cut this off unceremoniously with like as much grace as we start this podcast with, where it just suddenly stops or starts?
Consider everything already plugged.
Well, yeah, that's us. From Margate, Seaside Wrestling. We'll see you November 1st. I hope this recorded.